His arms were shaved and things, and I just sat there. It confused me because I had never been around this before. I had never been around anybody presenting as a different gender. I was 19 years old at the time. And then,
Yeah.
so it was weird to me, but I thought that was just him being who he was. And I didn't know that he identified as a she. For all I thought perhaps it was a drag queen or something. And I was just so sheltered from any concept of varying gender identities. And it was her that kind of helped me come out, but I was fully convinced I was going to convince her to be baptized and come to church with me.
She got you, actually.
Backfired.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I got off track. Going back to, I guess, your earlier years, you went to that flight school. I've watched enough of your interviews that I know enough general lore, but I do want to ask. So you got that flight certificate at 14. Can you talk a little bit about that? What caused that to happen? What led to you doing that as a homeschooled Mormon kid?
For one, being homeschooled, it opens your mind to many different options and ventures you could possibly take. And I was 9 years old, and my dad took me to a local county fair at the time in California. It was Larry County, California, I think. And they had a helicopter there that was giving people rides, and he took me for a ride in the helicopter. And it was right then and there I decided I have to be a helicopter pilot. This is the most amazing thing in the world. And so I pursued it and made it all the way through my commercial pilot's license. I had my first lesson at 14, but I didn't actually get my license till I was 20 something.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
Kind of put it on hold for a while because I realized I was too young and nobody was going to take me serious.
And then another question I have from around that time is, was it a Mormon charter school, or what was the charter school that you were attending? Or not by name, if you don't want to. I don't want to dox you. Is what I'm saying. I just want to get your experiences, I guess.
Yeah, initially my mom, this was back in the mid 80s that my mom decided to homeschool me. So 1987, I think. And at that time, there basically were no charter schools around. There was no homeschool structure. So she took it all on herself. And it was later, in my high school years, that we finally joined a charter school. I think it was when I was 10, we found a charter school to join, but it was not involved in the Mormon church. No, it was just a local something with the school system.
Was that a hard adjustment going from homeschool to school with more people in it, for lack of better words?
There still was hardly any social interaction, actually.
Really?
As far as the charter school went, mostly we would sometimes go there for events, but I would still do all of my school work at home. And so I really didn't get to know anybody at the charter school.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And then I'm jumping around, sorry, because I'm in my brain. But I'm curious if you had ever been exposed to trans people when you were a kid. Some of the stuff I've watched from you says you had never even heard of them, but you were still having these feelings. So, but then I've also heard you talk about the people in the schools talking about it. So I guess that's kind of what I'm hitting on here is had you heard of it before, or who's the first trans person that you saw? Well, that's what I'm gonna ask.
Actually, the very first trans person I'm aware of that I saw, and I didn't know what it was, what they were. I was on my mission for the Mormon church in Ohio, I think it was at the time, and one of the people we were trying to teach the church to was a trans woman. And I remember walking in and seeing this, what I perceived at the time as a man dressed as a woman. And I'm and his arms were shaved and things, and I just sat there. It confused me because I had never been around this before. I had never been around anybody presenting as a different gender. I was 19 years old at the time. And then, so it was weird to me, but I thought that was just him being who he was. And I didn't know that he identified as a she. For all I thought perhaps it was a drag queen or something. And I was just so sheltered from any concept of varying gender identities. I knew what gay people were, and I knew what drag queens were. I knew I wasn't either of those. I just knew that I felt like I was a girl inside ever since I was just really little. And it confused the hell out of me because I thought I was the only person on the planet that felt that way, and it didn't make any sense to me. I'd searched the internet hundreds of times trying to find answers. What is this? But somehow I never came across the term transgender until I was in my mid-20s or so. Just happened to search the right thing, the right search term, and it brought something up that all of a sudden made me aware this is actually a thing. This is something people struggle with, not just
What was that like?
It was a huge wave of relief and happiness to see that there was potentially a possibility to actually do something about these feelings, that I didn't just have to live with it